I want this to go to the title and to be, well, anyway, to Michelle Obama and to Oprah Winfrey. They made the rounds with the TV lately, and all they have to do is show up somewhere and they're photographed and all that. Of course, Mrs. Obama's got a book out, a new one out, and the press is her agent, publicity agent, and she's all over the place. This is a picture of my father, real quick, Edward VIII, who never married Wallace Simpson. He married Claudia Ruth O'Keeffe Windsor, who was Queen of England, and I've put all this up. This is George VI illegal, 1939, planning my kidnapping with Roosevelt, a Jew, who appointed Kennedy's, JFK's father, Joe, ambassador to England, 36, to take out my father. My father never married Wallace. I'll say that again, I double did. The Illuminati took my father down and then helped kidnap me. And yes, JFK and Joe Kennedy, the Klan, are a part of the Illuminati, your mafia, the Frank Sinatras, the Tony Bennetts, etc. And here's Obama. He made Caroline Kennedy ambassador to Japan. I want to show Larry Flynt because I was in a campaign there in 83 after I had done a book. And by the way, my book never got published. I was almost killed April Fool Day of 80. And it's such a fiasco, a sickness, the whole thing, all of it. Never anybody punished. I was almost killed. And if this ever is told, this is using mind control I was telling about, to kill, it's the Tesla files, to program people to kill somebody else, or appear to. They're acting under mind control. Let me turn this back around. I don't think this is going to go here. It's shutting out the light. I don't guess it matters, though. What I want to get up is, and I'm rambling here, because I've been in pain all night from inhaling some fumes and pulling my stuff from one room to the other to where I can hardly move. It's not like I'm a young chicken anymore. Way from it. Anyway, this is to Michelle and Oprah. This is the Queen of England, and I am the legal heir. And I know the Secret Service was sent after when Elizabeth, the illegal, you know her, that's where Mr. and Mrs. Obama spent the night or 2 nights in Windsor Castle a couple of years ago and took little George, who they say is going to be king one day. They're fraud. Elizabeth works for the Illuminati just like the Obamas. And then, gave little George a rocky horse for his birthday. I've had a picture of my son, Mark, the legal heir. I'm not going to put it up again, and his little rocky horse. Of course, he's in what's almost rags, too. So you wouldn't know about that, would you? You wouldn't know about the Queen of England being placed in Moulton, Alabama, and JFK's part in it all. His father was ambassador to England by Roosevelt in 36 and kicked out in 46. And you don't know this, Mrs. Obama and Oprah, and you can't wait, Oprah, to interview Meghan Markle, who married into the fake royal family, Elizabeth's fake. She needs in jail. She represents the Illuminati just like you and your husband, Trump. Oh, excuse me, I'm not going to do this over. I'm sorry. I hope Trump is not part of the Illuminati. I wrote about the Tesla files, so I hope everybody can put this together. In 76 I started, and it's the Tesla files, and it's where President Trump's uncle, who was a professor at MIT, was supposed to have stolen the Tesla files, where you can create an illness or cure it, or had a lot of other stuff. And then supposedly the FBI stole it, had the files. Now then, you fast forward, the Illuminati actually had the files, got them, and you fast forward to now, and Trump's president, and my book never got published, but you've got NBC and all the others promoting Mrs. Obama's book just coming out. And Oprah, every time she steps up anywhere, they photograph her. They've got Barbara Bush. Is it Barbara? Is her name Barbara? She's one of the twins of her father was, of course, the president, and she works for NBC now. She's up there huggy poo with Mrs. Obama, and they're getting publicity and all over the place. And Oprah. And my thing is, if you're such civil rights advocates, and this is what I'm saying, I picture Cotton down in Moulton, Alabama. I took abuse from a family that was so sick and vile. But how about the people that put me there? And how about the people who've always known and suppressed it? You all have to know, you being the First Lady, Mrs. Obama. Oprah should certainly know. She's well educated in Martin Luther King, Reverend Andrew Young, who, by the way, are part of the United Nations, the Illuminati, your global government up in D.C. And they know about Martin Luther King. And Atlanta, Georgia was the headquarters, where Mrs. King sent her person out. She wouldn't talk to me in the condition I was in 82. Freezing, my home almost killed, worked for the DA in between in Huntsville, Alabama. All things had happened to me. Sick, what happened. Nobody's paid for it. And she was wouldn't come up. She was busy. She sent her person, who admitted after we stepped out in the cold, he took me out in the cold to talk, and he said that they knew about mind control, that their friend was a doctor of something in South Africa. Of course, this whole thing has been to take out the British, Empire, and South Africa was part of it. He said this doctor had gone and had a root canal, which is what I've been telling about. They put the chip in root canals and seal it over, or any part of your body, heart bypasses, whatever, your brain. Anyway, he said they know, and he said this doctor, he wasn't a medical, he was something else, I believe. And he came home after the root canal and took a flying leap into the wall and just smashed his whole face in, because this is how powerful it is. So they've always known. I walked up to Maynard Jackson about that time, and he was in downtown, and I won't tell you where I was trying to sleep downtown and what had happened to me. Again, the mess. And I walked up to him and I said, I hadn't been out to Mr. Flint's, and I hadn't put together my real name, okay, Margaret Ann Windsor. I asked him, did he know of me, that I had written a book. It was MD, License to Kill. I don't think I told him that, but I asked him, I said, do you know about me? And he said, yes, I do. And he walked away, and I followed him out, and I was almost afraid to, because it'd be me that got locked up and telling the truth and all this and the crimes committed against me. So I walked out, and he got in a limo. Had a driver, and he was being escorted around in a limo. And here the Queen of England's on the street and had all kind of crimes. And then Mrs. Obama and Mr. Obama, president, goes to Windsor Castle and gives little George a rocking horse for his birthday, and calls with Zuckerman. Look this up. Right after that was a couple of years ago. Now then, it was right after then that Obama and Zuckerman, who is Facebook, and the grandson, I believe, of the Rockefeller. So I'm just turning all this over to the Rockefellers, the Illuminati that kidnapped me. But anyway, they went together on TV and said there was a lot. They were concerned because there was a lot of fake news up there. What? You just stepped out from Windsor Castle, Obama, and you talking about fake news? This whole thing's been fake news from day one. The Illuminati controls it. Your husband works for it. He came out on the list of 300 just like Elizabeth and company. She's illegal. She can't abdicate. She's not the monarch. She can't abdicate. I'm the monarch, and I'm sure the hell not abdicating. Got it? I picked cotton in Moulton, and Selma, Alabama happened when I was finishing high school. I've never known a civil right. So don't tell me about civil rights and prejudice. I've had prejudice thrown in my face. And if this whole thing is told the truth, and I'm going to have to shut up here before somebody knocks at my door and tells me I'm making too much noise, it would take all of you down. I can assure you it would take you all down. And I want specifically, since I've already said this in the past, point to what happened to me in '82, and I was down in Tampa Hilton as sales secretary. And then some things happened, and I was learning about, he was Mayor Martinez. His daughter Jennifer was kidnapped the 16th of November when I went through there. And then I ended up going back there. This is in '82, and worked there. And anyway, it's what I learned there about gun running across past, what is that, Guantanamo Bay down in Cuba, how they block the radar and murder. Oh, yeah. I taped all this for the Clearwater, I believe it's Clearwater Police, and they just grinned at me. And when I got through, they said, "We already know."